and be put away from you with all malice. It is so easy to get into the destructive pattern of constant argument. We may become controlling in our attitude towards our husband or wife, demanding actions on their part they find difficult or impossible to meet. The spouse who is being criticized feels unloved, disrespected, and unappreciated. Hurt feelings eventually rise to the surface. The partner may try to defend himself or herself with forceful words or withdraw into stony silence. The atmosphere by this time has become charged with tension. All it takes for a major explosion of anger to occur is for one or the other to bring up a problem from the past. Money may already have been an issue. The sexual relationship may have suffered because of too many responsibilities. Over time, in-laws may have interfered and become a source of frustration. There may have been an affair in the past that has broken down trust. Verbal abuse is the destructive process of putting down one's partner, even to the point in some cases of name calling. A verbally abused person is drowning in a sea of disrespect. The abuser disregards the feelings of his or her spouse, despairing them and crushing their self-worth. Perhaps the reason verbal abuse is common in some marriages is that people have such unrealistic expectations of one another. Some individuals in their frustration shout or scream or swear, losing what little self-control they have left. They may even resort to violent actions such as slamming doors or breaking furniture.
Amen. So we understand that when we don't deal with it, there's something that will happen. One will become bitter. And I often say what you don't want to do, if it's time to release yourself from that situation, you don't want to hate that individual.
Thank you, Lord.
Amen? Do y'all hear me? You don't want to hate them. Because once you start hating them, then that begins to mess with your spiritual walk with God. It is better to leave while you can still take the sight of her face or his face. You hear what I'm saying? Because when it turns into hate, it becomes vindictive then. It becomes a thing where I'm going to get you. Yeah, you ain't going to get you ain't going to get away. You know, so you have to be very careful. It is better to part on good terms than to part on bad. Amen? Amen. You wanna just somehow God will give you some resolve where you can, like, you see him and you say, you know, how you doing? God bless you. Have a nice day. But not, I see you, I hate you, I wish you were dead, that type of stuff. And I know some of y'all say that sounds hard, but that's truth. Amen, that's true. Anybody that's ever been through something like that, it will tell you, divorce and things like that, it's a death. It's a death. You actually die. People that don't understand it, but it's like someone leaving and being buried. You know, you remember the person, you can't make them go away, they always have been a part of your life, but it's like a death. And it takes time to get through it. Amen. And you need to get through it with the help of the Lord. Amen. God can help you get through it. Amen. You can't do it alone. You need Jesus to help you. Otherwise you will be bitter. Amen. But you don't want to get bitter, because along with bitterness comes wrath, and along with wrath comes anger. Amen. And when you put all of those things together, you become this force of negativity, which is not what God meant for you to do. Amen. He meant for us to love one another. We got to love those that we even can't get along with. Amen. You got to learn to love people that are ornery. Amen. Some people are hard to love. Yeah, y'all don't know anybody like that?
Jesus.
I can give you a list.
Don't do that, Pastor.
Some people are hard to love. And I believe God puts them in our life so that we can understand how to love. Amen. Because it's easy to love somebody that's lovable. The real task is loving somebody who not even a dog like them. You know it's bad. Come on, let's go get a sneaker.
A famous African proverb states, when elephants fight, the grass gets trampled. Often it is the children in a home who suffer most when their father and mother clash. The sensitive nature of boys and girls has been called a Geiger counter of their parents' relationship. How well they know when their father and mother are seriously unhappy with one another. Studies have shown that children who are exposed to unresolved and frequent conflicts between their parents are prone to suffer emotional problems. Moreover, these youngsters are more likely to get into trouble with the law, take up drugs or drinking, or become sexually promiscuous.
Amen. It's been proven in the courts in many cases. I think I have 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's been proven in the courts most of the time for those that are locked up in jail, they come from broken homes.
All right.
Those that did not have a father in their life or just bad relationship. A good percentage of those that are locked up or incarcerated are those that did not have a family link. And they went, the reason for gangs, the reason why gangs are so powerful, what they tell these kids is, we will be your family. Amen. And whatever you need, we'll be there for you. And everyone wants to belong to a family. It's the wrong family, but they want to belong to a family. That's why you see there's Bloods and Crips and all these different gangs. And these kids are starting at 10 years old. At 10 years old, they're carrying guns. At 10 years old. And it's all because they just want to be loved. Amen. So when we're in relationships, and especially when there are children involved, we have to do well by keeping peace with each other.
Amen.
Amen. Because even though we may not have worked out, we don't want the children to feel like they're the problem. Many times they would say, well, maybe they wouldn't be having these problems if it wasn't for me. But they don't know y'all was having problems before they came along. Children is not the solution or the band-aid to fix a marriage.
Amen.
Amen. Some people figure, oh, we have a kid, that'll fix it. No, they ain't gonna fix it. You're gonna have the same problem. Now you're gonna have the issue with trying to raise a child, and the two of y'all can't get along. So what type of environment are you bringing that child into? Jesus. So we have to be very careful. You know, people say, oh, that was a love child, or that was a oops child, which means, you know, we weren't expecting him or her. But at the close of the day, we must understand that when we begin to deal with relationships, God has asked for us to do it well. He's given us scriptures. He's given us foundational principles. If we follow those, He will give us great marriages. Amen? If we follow the principles that are set before us, we will not, every day is not going to be roses. I don't want to bust your bubble, but there's some days just ain't going to be so lovely. Amen? But you know what? That goes in a relationship. The Bible says the two become one. And the hardest thing that I found is for me to try to put my body into Lady Janice's body and her get into mine. Because I'm used to walking the way I walk. And she used to walk the way. But the Bible said we got to come together, walk as one. Amen. So when you have your ideas, I have my ideas, we have to bring those ideas to the table. And we do something what is called compromise. Amen? You have to learn to compromise. Marriage is give and take. Amen? You can't always have your way. Amen? We have to have our way together. Amen? So God bless you. We're going to enter into our